Hi everybody, this is Dave speaking. Thanks for joining me on this segment of Dave Bradley Lifestyle, which is commonly known as Where's Dave. Normally I'm somewhere around the world, in England or New Zealand or some other location. Today I'm just basically in my home city of Maumee, Ohio, and even though it's Where's Dave, I just want to give you a bit of update of where is Dave at right now, even though I'm still at home and not traveling around the world. Just a few things have come to my notice in recent times. My background is a professional soccer player, and then that was in England, and via South Africa and New Zealand. For a second time I ended up in New Zealand, and within a year there I joined a business called the Amway business, commonly known as the network marketing. That would be probably one of the major ones around the world, or the first one around in those days. Of course, subsequently there's a whole lot more out there now. But I personally believe that that was the right one for me, and it worked for me. I developed that as part-time over and above what I was doing at that time to generate income, selling life insurance, being a soccer coach and a soccer player. Within 4 years I was able to give all those things away and just live off the income from my Amway business. That was 1991, and I've been living off that income ever since, and now it's 2011, so that's around about 20 years of not having to have a job. One or two things have come to my attention as far as the social networks are concerned, especially Facebook. I noticed for some reason it seems to be a really big uptake in the last few weeks, certainly in the last couple of months or more, with people relying on Facebook not just for normal communication. There's a lot of positive sayings and quotes and personal development things that people have got from other people they know, or the great thing called the internet that we know these days. It's amazing what information is available to us. One thing I do know is that the information has always been available. I was, by default, in a way, when I joined my Amway business in 1987, it was put to me at that point that you need to develop not a better attitude, but a stronger attitude, be more emotionally stronger. The emphasis was not on the IQ, more on the EQ. In fact, I'm reading a book at the moment called Emotional Intelligence, which I've had for a while, but I've just gone back through it, and it's really interesting about why people become successful or don't become successful. That's up to debate as to what success is, of course. Maybe in my younger years I thought success was making a lot of money and having a lot of nice things. I certainly have never used not having those things for an excuse for not being ambitious. However, they are not 100% the number one important thing. But what I do notice is that having a positive attitude, or a better attitude, and strong emotional development definitely helps you in your quest to be a better husband, better wife, better father, better friend, whatever the case may be. And today, life would, people say that, life is a little bit harder than it used to be. Some older people might question that one. I think there's a lot of pressures on people today. Usually in a household, both man and wife are working, and kids' education, busy, busy, busy. The one thing that I hear the most is that people are struggling. There's so much going on these days. I know my wife and I, we often have the conversation, what did we do before kids and kids sport? What were we doing with our time? And sometimes, through lack of focus, number one reason for lack of success in people's lives and coping skills is broken focus. That's the number one thing. But the other word that comes to mind, and I've seen a lot of it on Facebook recently, is this word discipline. Don't disqualify yourself with your lack of discipline. What I can tell you is, I'm knowing a lot of successful people. They are constantly on the lookout for people that are the right kind of people, that are positive, that are hungry, that are teachable, that have got desire, and are willing to learn and change and grow. And that sounds like a lot of things when you say it all at once. But I believe there's a hunger these days for personal professional development. In fact, a couple of years, only around about a year ago, a friend of mine called Lisa McGuinness Smith out of Melbourne, Australia, she was doing a conference for us in New Zealand at our Network Marketing Amway conference. And she was standing on stage as a professional motivator, personal development coach, and she works in the corporate world. And I heard her say, there's a lot of talk in the business world about personal and professional development. There's not a lot of it going on. That doesn't mean that some of us are not trying to be the best that we can be. I was by default introduced to, when I got in Amway in 1987, through the business people, an understanding that once you get into one of those businesses, that there are different groups of people that operate within those businesses and have different philosophies and principles. Luckily for me, their emphasis on personal development and helping people become the people that they needed to be and helping them get what they want. And as Zig Ziglar says, you help enough of the people get what they want and you'll get what you want. And so I was brought into the world when I got into my Amway business that I needed to listen to something every day, read something every day, and mix and associate with positive people all the time. And if negative ever came along, whether it was through my own thinking, through my own thoughts, or through anybody else, was turn around and walk away, to put it bluntly. A friend of mine contacted me a couple of years ago in Ohio, and he's writing a book. And the book that he was writing happened to be about network marketing, and he called me and he said he thinks he needs some help. Would I give him some help? 2 years later in the making, and it's just about done right now. One of the chapters in there is on personal professional development, looking at the Facebook, looking at how hard life can be these days and how positive we need to be and keep our head above water. There is a need for personal and professional development. So can I encourage you to do that? Stay tuned as well. If we can let you know when that book comes out. I was having a conversation with the gentleman I'm writing the book with. He happens to know Zig Ziglar and his daughter Julie Ziglar, so you'll be familiar with the word Zig Ziglar probably. If not, you could probably go and Google it. But she's helping out and has read and gone through what we've done so far, and basically has said that she's 100% on board with helping in any way she can to get that book into the hands of people who are, number one, relatively early in network marketing, and number two, into the hands of some of the leaders in those groups that can use it as a tool to help people. That's what the book is designed to do. That was what was behind it. There seems to be a lot of negative out there about network marketing. I can tell you this, it might possibly be true in some cases, but the truth is, as from an overall point of view, it's not true, and it is a good business, and a lot of people have done very, very well around the world. So where is Dave right now? Dave has been embarking on a personal professional development program since 1987. Before that, you had to be positive to be a professional soccer player. You just didn't really know what that meant at the time. At times today, when things get busy with 2 young kids and a boy in England and a business in New Zealand, and Melanie and I doing our thing, trying to, we often say to ourselves, what did we ever do before kids and sports? And driving around all over the place, sometimes 3 and 4 in a day between the two of them. But we need all the tools that we can get our hands on to keep our attitude and keep strong. There's a war out there between the belief of whether IQ is going to help you get where you want to go, or whether EQ is going to get you where you want to go. I'm reading a book at the moment called Emotional Intelligence. It's kind of my second time round. When you write a book, you tend to want to gravitate towards filling your mind with a lot of stuff as much as you possibly can, and you come across this stuff that maybe you knew but you forgot about. And in this case, the war between IQ and EQ is that it seems like most people who are corporate people or employed people would rather have someone that is positive, emotionally sound, doesn't lose the temper, can hold a conversation, has got good people skills, good listening skills. That seems to be winning out over the IQ. My own personal experiences tell me that the higher the IQ, the less the common sense on a lot of instances. The best people that I come across are people who have got some IQ, but have got a very high EQ to go with that. So with that being said, just wanted to share a few thoughts with you, which I think possibly would help you. I didn't know this was going to be the Where's Dave segment, but I think it's current, I think it's relative, and based on all the things that I see young people putting on Facebook right now, I think it's a long overdue thing to address. And it's one chapter in our book. He's going to do that on personal professional development. So look out for that. Good talking to you. Won't hold you up for any more of your time. We'll look forward to checking in with you soon. Bye for now.